Welcome to another episode of Addicted to the Q. I'm Brad with Meets My Mistress, Brian with Sofa King Awesome Barbecue. Say it fast or don't say it at all. And the bum may or may not join us during the show. We're going to find out. If he shows up, he shows up. And our guest tonight is Mr. Ryan Ashcroft with Guy in a Truck, the guy of Guy in a Truck Barbecue, one of the sexiest men in barbecue.
Oh,
And
dang.
it's getting
Dang,
deep.
Brad.
Make me sweat over here.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
So let's start off with, I'm guessing the name came from you just were just a guy that showed up in a truck at a barbecue contest, and that's how it started.
So, oddly enough, my first contest, the event was in Tahlequah, and the coordinator called me, and he's like, hey, you made an entry, but you don't have a team name. I was like, team name? He's like, yeah, you got to have a team name. And I was like, I'm just a guy in a truck. It was written down, and that has been what they've called me since. No real story behind it. I was literally just a guy in a truck, and I was like, oh, I'm just a guy in a truck, and never really planned that name. It kind of stuck, and then the joke came up. Sorry, I've got low-hanging fruit across the street from me, and they like to blast their loud fart cans sometimes.
Nice.
So then the mantra came up, it's trucking good, because, again, say it faster, don't say it at all, right? It's so it's just kind of stuck with us, and some of you know that I've added to my team in the last 2 years, and now my fiance, soon-to-be wife, is co-cooking with me sometimes, around nursing, of course. So
Nice.
I'm going to ask this and act like, and hopefully not get you in trouble. That was your wife, like not your mom, not your sister, there at Kansas, right?
at Kansas, the redhead,
Yes.
yeah.
I didn't want to be
It's my
like,
wife.
was that which women was it the redhead? Like you have 7 women that go with you at cons. I'm going to get him in trouble.
You guys have never met another woman. Only a few people know about that. So some of, as most of you know, I run pretty heavily with Travis Farthing and Sam Dotson. And one time Travis looks at me, and we're in St. Louis, and he goes, "Is this the same one or a different one?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Girl, because it's a new week. I didn't know." And I was like, "That's a little painful right there, Travis. That was a low blow." But it happens. No, that was my wonderful other half. And the crazy shit she does with me sometimes just makes me laugh. She went to I'll tell you, after you cook alone for a long time and then you have a teammate, you're like, ooh, this is nice. What do? Extra hands. So it definitely elevated my game. We broke out of the box last year at Wagner, got a couple calls, wasn't crazy. Went to Alva, and we got our first 180, which was hers. And then that's when I was talking to La Pasadena, and of course, if you know Reagan, he's a ton of fun to be around. And he's like, "Man, you really need to check out Barbecue League." And I was like, I don't know, man, because you pay for classes, you take classes, and all, just whatever. Got off on that stuff and really found some recipes that work awesome. Worth $100 a year. End of story. Even the little tips and tricks, even if you don't use anything from the video other than he uses a certain pair of scissors from somewhere that you noticed, like the whole discussion about trimming scissors, and Harbor Freight shop shears are like amazing for brisket. If you don't know, they're 11 inches long, so you can get out there and really take a good clean cut off the corner of a brisket. Just throwing that out there for you guys.
There's a free tip for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm the best, but they work good because they're that long. So you really can clean the side of a brisket up, ribs. But no, we cooked 7 comps last year, got 1 700, 3 or 4 180s, I think. And overall had a pretty good cook last season, and that was our first season cooking together. So
Yeah. Well, and you had the food truck running last season too, right?
this season I do. August of last year, I kicked off a restaurant, and restaurant life with barbecue without a really good location is really, really hard. It's in the story. It's impossible. I tell people all the time, even with the food truck, I'm like, hey, don't invite me to an event if I'm not going to be able to cover the cost. Just the overnight work that goes into a cook, as we all know, is time consuming. Meat's expensive. I don't have to explain that to you two. When you're cooking a case of briskets and a case of butts every weekend, you start looking at meat a lot differently. You know, you're like, yeah, we're going to use as much of this as we can. But you want a quality product, right? So the food truck is new. We were able to launch it in May 15th, May 20th, something like that. And no, sorry, April 15th, I think, is about when we got our license. And we've been doing really well with that. Again, it's a ton of work. Not gonna lie, the added amounts of things like rubs you use, it's pretty standard. 5 pounds in 2 weeks of each rub. So you don't think about it, but when you do a butt at home, you're like, I used a quarter of a bottle. That adds up when it's $10.
Yep.
It adds up quickly. And I do inject on the truck. So I'm running quarter strength comp flavor on the food truck, which some people, of course, that blows people's minds, right? Just automatically, they taste something so much more powerful and flavorful than anything commercially available barbecue wise, mile less from a truck. So yeah, it's different. It's going good, but it's different.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to say that I cook low and slow now, which is completely backwards from how I normally cook. And I've always teased people who had old hickories, like, oh, that's not real cooking. We have 2 CTOs now, and that little single wide CTO, it works for its propane. I'll leave it at that. It uses 2 sticks of wood a night, which is incredibly efficient. Still gets the same great flavor, and changes the game for us on the day to day. You know.
Yeah.
And you can sleep.
Yeah, I get to sleep. I did an event yesterday, and I woke up at 7 to wrap butts and get ready to put butts in the hot box. That's a game changer, by the way. If you've never thought of a hot box for your food or for your comp trailer, like the countertop Vevor $300 ones, being able to hold meat at 150 degrees for however long you want to hold it there amplifies some of the flavors so much. It's crazy. I'm highly considering one for my comp trailer, or at least a way to stabilize that 150 degrees throughout a cook. After you pull things to keep that temperature up, because I think it could really amplify your consistency.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Do you run your truck with just straight catering events that call you, or kind of like a carnival event, or anything the city puts on you sign up for?
I do. So I did Claremore Food Truck Thursday 2 weeks ago, and that was our first big Main Street event. That was really cool. We slung a little over 100 sandwiches and 20 potatoes in 2 hours flat.
Jeez.
So That's 10 pounds of sausage, almost 40 pounds of or almost 10 pounds or 5 pounds of bologna, 5 pound sausage, 5 pounds of bologna, 4 pork butts, and 3 briskets in
Now,
2 hours.
now bologna's a lot more popular in Oklahoma than other places as far as smoked bologna.
It's not our top seller, surprisingly. I do a jalapeno cheddar sausage that seems to be a lot more popular than the bologna. We kind of had a conversation earlier about maybe we just need to cook half as much bologna and stop cooking a whole chub for the weekend, because it definitely doesn't look as pretty. I'm big on presentation in my boxes, even when it's food truck food. You eat with your eyes. That's the first thing I learned in this game, is you eat with your eyes. So if it looks like it's been in the smoker for 73 hours, it probably is not going to be the most appetizing.
Is it just the two of you running the food truck when you go out?
Yeah, it's just the two of us, and a lot of times it's just me. And then I do have some family members and some friends that step in from time to time. And I have employees at the shop that'll step in if I really need it. So yeah, it's a lot of work when you get off at Friday at 5 and you turn around and walk in the trailer and start trimming briskets,
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, I bet. So you said shop. What kind of business is the shop?
I have a machine shop. So
Okay.
I have 3-axis, 4-axis, lathes, plasma table. We do custom signage stuff. We do oil filled parts, any job shop type machining. Do some additive manufacturing stuff with 3D printing. That is kind of where my roots are, is fabrication. Barbecue came to me much later in life, and fabrication's always kind of paid the bills. So,
is there anything special you got going on in the shop?
Not right now. We were working on a contract with the people who make the cameras for NFL fields, and I'm not really sure where that's at right now. I do some weird odds and ends stuff like that for some people, but it's not. Well, the recent tariffs will definitely turn things around. The last couple of years have been pretty stagnant in the machine shop world.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to see a good influx of making America great again, whether that means the work's here and not in China or Japan or wherever. But that's the biggest thing for it. And materials. I think we're going to see more stateside materials come back to a reasonable price. That's going to make things very different for a lot of manufacturing. So,
and now I know you from following you on Facebook, seeing posts about a side build you've been working on. Have you thought about expanding in your shop, like doing smokers for sale, for commercial sale or anything?
ooh, I could lie to you and say no, but the fact is that if my drums were to be where they started taking off, it's hard. I'm sitting here, and behind me is my 133, and next to me is my Roughneck. So there's so many great smokers on the market. It makes it challenging to want to run out and bail off in a new market when there's already a pretty decent flood. If somebody wants a smoker kit, we do full kits with a basket. Actually, I think I can do this. Hang on. Well, oh no. Okay, so I'll show you, and don't judge my drum, because I haven't cooked on a drum in a year and a half. So, it's lagoon bottom quality right now. You might notice that our stacks are hexagonal. They're polished stainless. Those are actually welded on the seams and then polished by hand. It's just a standard drum with plenty of dust in it, side actuated, but backwards from everybody else's because that's the way you have to be different. But there's hard stops in there. I sell those kits. You can buy that kit without a barrel for like $360 from me. That's fire basket. You need a grate and hardware. So,
have you thought about expanding like parts, like accessories? Like, I'm going to ask you. I just happened to come across a PK grill over the weekend, and I need that riser grate for warming steaks after you sear them. Can you manufacture one of those? Fabricate?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the kind of stuff that we do a lot of is ones and twos parts. I've thought a little bit about like brisket caddies. And funny enough, I had gone through the whole process of designing a brisket caddy that worked and fit well. It was mild still, and then all of a sudden they're coming out of Texas now, customized with your logo on them, and that hit the market before mine hit the market. So I decided not to drop that product, just out of respect. I try to respect others, and the thing on the drums is there's two companies that make drums now, and to try to be the guy that comes out and drops a drum for a quarter of the price would be a little insulting, I think. So out of respect, I haven't really pursued that a whole lot. I don't think that mine's enough different from anybody else's to be more attractive in any way. I've thought about doing some custom, offset pits. You might have noticed when we were walking over there, there's 4 pits over there. And of course, a lot of people know about the Kelvinator. I don't know if either one of you are familiar with the Kelvinator. Okay. I probably have one of the most unique fridges in the world. My comp smoker is it's a 1943 Kelvinator.
I think I might have seen this now that you say it.
Yeah. Not many people get a sear.
Wow.
Yep, I have seen that.
This is kind of hard from backwards, but temperature thermometer on it. It's got 4 shelves in it. They stack down on each other when we're driving, but it's fully insulated. She's kind of ugly right now. Again, I haven't cooked on it since July of last year. But the standard door latch works. It's got a stack just like a drum. It's got a ball valve down there, just like a drum. The door goes on it. Normally the door's on it whenever we're cooking. I set the ball valve and kind of just run it till it stops running up. We've seen 450, 500 at a comp, and I don't freak out about it anymore. I just let it cook. We let the fire, we do that to brisket, and then it starts coming down by the time we put pork on, and then chicken goes on a drum, and then by the time ribs go on, it's down to that 325, 300 mark, and we're coming off the charcoal burn. I am going to work on that a little bit and kind of get it tuned in a little bit better. But I've got a stash of about 6 of those fridges now that I have drug home from Missouri and Arkansas and Kansas and Tulsa. So we've got a stack of them that if I think there's some serious interest in it, I might start building a few of those. Yeah. They're going to be a little more of the luxury price tag than I think most people want to pay for a drum, but they cook really freaking good.
Yeah. I might reach out to you after when we get off tonight, tomorrow, something. Talk about a fabricated chimney charcoal, and then the warming rack for the PK grill.
Yeah, both those items. I designed a chimney charcoal here recently also, so I already have that drawn up and can change the wording on it, logo on it.
Nice.
We do these like that drum plate for the Roughnecks. We have a bunch of those that we do. Then they're all cut out to your logo and then vinyled. So the vinyl can be color. It can be the Addicted to the Q logo or the Sofa King. Sorry. We'll edit that part out. Oops. The Sofa King logo, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think they look really cool. I really thought they'd sell better, but right now me and Bobby have them, and everybody talks about wanting them. So I think there's something there potentially. Unfortunately, you guys both know it's advertising and having time to sit in front of the computer and be on Facebook for hours.
Social media, yes.
Social media, the thing I hate the most.
Oh, it's
the people that are good at it, though. It works. It's just
they're on it.
Yeah.
We did a cooking class, Kevin Hesse, Weekend Bum and I, yesterday, and it was geared like more backyard and things you can do for family gatherings and get-togethers, appetizers, not geared towards like competition mainly. And that's how we want to do our classes, like teach people you can do so much more on your grills and your smokers than just what you think you can do.
Right.
He's like, normally I'll get on quick and I'll do posts and stuff, but he's like, well, I made a post since I didn't see you make a post yet. I'm like, no, I've been busy.
Yeah. You probably noticed my Guy in a Truck page is really busy when I'm working that a lot, whenever I'm on events all weekend. I've started doing some drone footage, which was cool to give it a different aspect of where we are and what we're doing. It's really cool at like food truck events when there's a whole bunch of food trucks and you get like nice side shots of the truck and then it zooms in and then soups up. Putting music with it. It got us like the first one I posted got like 600 views and a whole bunch of people had gone and liked our page. And I was like, man, that kind of worked. But I also feel like I'm getting annoying to people with posting on social media every day. Do they really want to hear about Guy in a Truck on Monday after they've been, out in the heat all weekend and they're tired and they don't want to be at work, they want to talk about food. So it's kind of that figuring out that balance of what do people actually want, that's the hard part is determining what people want from you in your marketing.
So I had a quick question. You talked about doing those logos for Hasty Bake. Would you do those for drums?
Yeah, I can do them for drums.
You can get the curve in them?
Yeah, I can get the curve in them. It's hard because drums vary so much. Maker to maker, it's a little bit different. But they're all about that 22-inch radius.
Yes.
So I think we could set up a roller. We're not curving them very much. It's honestly, you could probably bend them over your belly in the garage if you really wanted to, or a piece of pipe on the edge of a bench. You'd be kind of surprised how easy 16 gauge will bend whenever you're not trying to bend a 90. And they don't really need to be any heavier because if it fails, you want it to be what fails, not your drum.
Yes.
So if you make it heavier than the drum and then it dents the side of the drum in and the plate's still bent, well, you didn't win anything. But if you dent the plate and the drum's still straight, then you're like, hey, you know what? $75 plate's not that bad. I'd rather ruin that than a $600 or $800 or $1,200 drum,
Yeah.
I'd much rather crush that plate than the side of that roughneck.
Yeah.
I would be upset about that.
Yeah.
You also make trophies, because I did a contest with you in Lauren, Kansas, and I now have 3 cool trophies from you. They're sitting. I'm actually looking at them right now.
Yep. Yeah, we make trophies. We've made trophies at Wagner, several rib comps, the Larnard comp every year. I've made trophies all the way to like Colorado and stuff. Texas, I make a really cool one for Southwest Texas Barbecue Bash. Or I guess South Texas Barbecue Bash and West Texas Barbecue Bash, which is Colin and Gray. If you get a chance to go look at their page and see some of those trophies, they're unique. The biggest one's like 38-inch tall. It's an oil derrick, and it's 3D, so it's square, and it's got all these cutouts in it, so it looks like it's I-beams, and then their logo on top, and then it's wrapped with lights, so at night it's all glowing up. And they do their awards at like 9:00 at night down there on the big stage, and so they're all like holding them up with the lights going, jumping up and down with them, So you can imagine that's a pretty. The bigger the trophy, the giddier I get. I'm like a little squirrel girl. I'm like, yeah, Yeah, we do quite a bit of trophies. Everything's vinyl printed, set on metal. Some are 3D, some are 2D. Kind of depends on what an organizer is looking for, but
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I walked into Kansas and I said I gotta get one of those trophies, and luckily I got 3. So
yeah, well, and then you saw Bobby's trophy that he won up there for the 2-day.
I know I wanted
the
that
grand, and then over to the Fat Lady Sings. I've heard a rumor there's another chance to get one of those this year at Larnard. And there might be more. Sounds like maybe 3 contests are coming to Larnard. So, yeah, I'm excited to be a part of those and help him get trophies every year.
That's the Oklahoma side of Kansas. That's a long drive for me.
Oklahoma side of Kansas. Come on now. It's 4.5 hours for me.
It was like 5.5 for me, I think it was.
As bad as I hate to say it, I hate going to Western Kansas. I hate the drive to Western Kansas. Weather in Western Kansas scares the hell out of me. Would have been my grandmother's brother went to a football game, and it was like 60 and sunny that afternoon. By the time the game was over, it was a blizzard. He never made it home. So Western Kansas scares the hell out of me because you never know how bad the weather's going to get and when it's going to show up.
Yep.
Last year, we were sitting around the bonfire that Friday night. It was nice and comfortable. And then Saturday morning, I get up and grab my ribs out of the fridge or out of the ice chest and throw them on the table. They were more frozen when I got back from getting breakfast than whenever I left for breakfast. I was like, crap, this is a problem. They froze in my Arctic overnight. I was like, shit. So we cooked frozen ribs. I hate to say that out loud because it sounds horrible, but I did. I cooked frozen ribs. So I,
you know,
huh?
I did
get a call. Did I get a call up there? Baby backs. Yeah, I did. It wasn't great, but it was an 8th. I mean, so, and there was a lot of Oklahoma power there. I don't think people understand. I know you guys are from the Kansas area, Kansas City area, right?
Yeah.
Both of you? Okay.
Well, I am. Brad's, he's about 2 hours out.
Yeah.
I'm halfway between Kansas City and halfway between St. Louis.
It's funny. I've heard some people like Squealing Dylan, Chase Willard. He's like, man, you Oklahoma guys show up. And I'm like, man, we're just out here having fun. But anytime you go to a contest with an Oklahoma guy, as another Oklahoma guy, it doesn't matter what you need. We're like family to each other. There's I guess 10 or 15 of us, and I think that was the biggest draw to competition barbecue for me. Is I realized, I started in Oklahoma, and a lot of those guys were kind of starting at the same time, and so we were kind of doing the close comps. So we all ended up at the same little comps, and kind of parked close to each other. And I think I started pestering Travis first, and Sam, and of course, Sam Dodson and Travis Farthing, and we started pestering each other. And we just got back from Alaska with Travis and his wife. We went, me and her and Brendan James went to went to Alaska and had a great weekend. So barbecue's really evolved as more of a family than a competition for us. You know, it's turned into a lot. So
Those two you mentioned, they were my neighbors when I cooked in Lebanon, Tennessee for the Invitational, and I was cooking solo out of a U-Haul, and I joked I was a little orphan boy that Sam fed the entire weekend. I mean, him and Whitney like leftover. I mean, they brought me a plate every single
okay,
meal.
so I gotta be honest here. Sam and Whitney, if you ever hear me refer to Comp Mom and Comp Dad, that's Sam and Whitney, because I'll never forget, we were in Alva. There's 4 of us. It was me, Travis, Randall Crawford, Sam and Whitney, and that was it. 4 people. They had the whole center street of town blocked off in Alva, and there's 4 teams. And I'd set up over by the curb, kind of close to the police station, and that night was one of those like horrible. This is my first GC, so this story's kind of cool. It was my first GC, and I was sleeping in a hammock, which was pretty common for me. Everybody knew I was a hammock guy. I'd tie it to my truck and something solid and sleep in it. And that thing went down in the middle of the street in Alva, Oklahoma, and dumped me on my head at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm barely asleep. This thing just drops me. I land, I get up, I sleep in the backseat of the truck, and got up the next morning, and Whitney's walking by, and she's like, I'm going to the Walmart. I'm going down here to the store. Do you need anything? And I was like, no, Mom, I'm good. And she just kind of laughed at it. It started there. I ended up cooking and GCing against Travis and Sam and Randall up there. And that was my first backyard GC. And from there I was like, hey, where are you guys going next? And we just started chasing each other all over the state, and had a hell of a time doing it. Those two were, man, Sam and Travis could be a lot of fun, especially when you throw Tony Sword in there. The 4 of us get pretty rowdy together. So
I always say it's the Oklahoma block whenever I go by somewhere. I mean, there's all the Oklahoma teams.
Yep. Because we're all like right here.
Yeah.
Just one big circle of us. Yeah. Yeah. The only group of people I've seen competitors that and I'm sure you guys have seen it, but Oklahoma guys step in for anybody. It doesn't matter if you're from Oklahoma or not. An Oklahoma team usually will step up and try to help a new team, or they'll help a team that's in need. You know, were either one of you at Derby last year?
No, I wasn't. No.
Okay. You know, there was a situation where one of the guys from Oklahoma started having heat exhaustion and was really in bad shape. And I look up from what I'm doing. I look over, I realize what's going on. And so I just naturally, I just went over and started helping. Like, keep in mind, we just dropped brisket off. Like, my trailer's a disaster. My pit's still on fire. Who knows what's going on over there? But I'm like, nope, got to go help him. So we helped him get cleaned up and packed up. And then somebody took him in a trailer and got him cooled off and made sure he got cooled off. But, you know, that's what we've come together and do. And that's really important. When you're 4 hours from home and pulling a trailer full of smokers, you know, it's kind of handy to have a neighbor there that's going to say, hey, you're not staying here alone, or you're not on the side of the road alone, you know?
Yep.
So that's pretty big for even competitors to step up and say, hey, you're still in Oklahoma. You're here, you know, we're here for you. So,
Oh yeah.
No, that hammock though, I've done a lot of zero gravity chairs and cots, but a hammock, that would be a new one.
You know, I loved my hammock. It was always comfortable. It was always good. I've got a bed in the trailer now, so it makes life much more comfortable. That's my. You can see my war wagon behind me. I jokingly named it the war wagon because, you know, we're from Oklahoma, right? And the Indians, and you know, so I call it the war wagon because it's literally got everything I need to go to a comp, and stage war on all the other competitors.
Yeah.
Not that it's really war, but it's a fun joke.
Yeah. What's your any other businesses that you got?
Yeah, I have a dumpster company, and then I have a surplus industrial business that I run part time. If you or anybody you know has like a machine shop and they decide to close down, a lot of times tooling isn't worth a whole lot in a bulk sale. So I go in and buy a lot of tooling and stock it on the shelves, and then either use it in our shop, which is a phenomenal way to save money on the cost. But the biggest thing is sell it. Guys will be like, "Hey, I need a 2-inch end mill," and you're thinking 2-inch end mill, holy crap! Well, I've got 2-inch end mills that are 14, 16 inches long that new would cost you a small fortune. But if you're like, "Hey, I've got one job, I need an end mill to get by on," it turns into a 30% reduction on your cost of a tool, and might be the difference if you getting a job and not getting a job. So that's kind of a cool business that kind of comes in waves. Oddly enough, I don't really advertise it. Just as I do with more shops, I kind of feed off of other shops and take on work that they either don't have time for or is over their skill set. Oddly enough, it pays better that way because I'm not chasing to the bottom. They just got to cover their butt because they need the job done.
Yeah.
So they call me and it pays decent. So because of the urgency of it. And so I thrive a little bit on the stress of life of, hey, I need this tomorrow. Okay, cool. I'm going to stay in the shop tonight and do it. Hopefully one day somebody else is staying in the shop and doing it. And I'm going home, but we'll get there eventually, right?
That's the goal.
Right.
So what do you do with all your extra? So what do you do with all your extra spare time you have since you run like 4 businesses?
What's spare time?
Exactly.
That's not true. We make spare time. We've got to where Sundays that we're both off, or Sundays that she's off, I pretty well shut down for the day. So, we try to take those days and spend time together. This morning we went and had breakfast and at a local spot we really like. We try to kind of adventurously dine on Sundays. That's kind of our day to do that. Whether it's going to our favorite place for a steak or it's finding a new sandwich shop or obviously I'm a foodie. It doesn't stop at barbecue. Oddly enough, it's about anything that, tastes good. I will chow down. Did find out I'm not a fan of some olive spread they put on my sandwich today. It's not for me. Never thrown half a sandwich away in my life, and today I just couldn't do it. It was just not for me.
I know what you're talking about.
Pimento or something,
Yeah.
olive something. It was like minced up olives.
Yeah.
And not just, if it had been black olives, it probably would have been bad, but it was green olives, and I'm not a green olive fan.
Yep.
So that was a no-go for me.
Yeah, it starts with a P. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
I'm like, my wife's grandmother, she was pure Italian, and she would make that. And we went to Texas, visit her the first time I met her.
Looks like caviar.
Yeah, I was just like, "What are you doing?" And she's putting it on bread, and I'm just like, olive stuff. Like
this sandwich was a little heavy. And the worst part was I was like, oh, I'll just take off the top bun and eat it open face. And they put it on top and bottom. So yeah, I was out. I tried to eat the ham and it tasted like olives. Mistake made, lesson learned. We know what not to order now.
That's hilarious.
But you don't know if you like flavors until you try them.
Yeah.
Well, that's very, very true. So besides KCBS, you do a lot of rib cook-offs as well. They have a different kind of ancillary. Which one's your favorite ancillary that you have cooked on the rib cook? Was it grilled cheese?
Ooh, no, it wasn't. Ancillaries are hard for me, and even harder in rib cook-off. want to preface this by saying I fully and totally support Rib Cook Off. I love what they're doing. I love the program. I love the idea behind it.
Yep.
The thing I'm going to say is going to spark some interest, I'm sure. It's very challenging to go from KCBS to Rib Cook Off Association. In KCBS, we have a idealistic bite and flavor that the judges are starting to trend slowly to other things, but stay in a kind of processive order. Rib Cook-Off has no certified judges and therefore has no guideline. So if you need to cook a good rib, right? At the end of the day, it is a people's choice rib that wins.
Yep.
It needs to be unanimously a people's choice thing. It's hard because you don't know what the judges are thinking. I got the opportunity to judge at the Worlds this year. I didn't cook. I went down and judged. Wow. To say wow is yeah, there was a lot of rib. Saw a lot of things. Was impressed by some things. Disappointed in some things. Left me asking a lot of questions. If you've never judged an event, I highly encourage you to do so.
I judged the pork steaks on Friday night.
Okay, so yeah, you know what I'm talking about. There's it's buyer beware on some. You don't know what the cook's taste buds are like. And some of them, I'm going to tell you, have iron tongues compared to others. There was some ribs that lit me up, and I was like, "Ooh, that's not good." Highly suggest to stay away from things that are extremely hot. That is extreme spice. I sat at a table with 3 people who were 50 and older. One was a nice little church lady, and she had a great time, but she told me all about it. If something was warm, she definitely, you could tell on her face immediately. And she was the kind of grandma that I don't know if I'd want her judging my food. She might have been mean.
Yeah.
She didn't have a poker face, huh?
No. Nobody does, and I think that a cook can learn a lot from being on the backside of the table, and having to see what everybody else turns in. And there's no way to know whose food I ate or didn't eat. End of story. There's like, you could show me a picture, but at the end of the day, I saw like 27 or 8 boxes. Can you imagine eating 28 of your ribs? Either one of you?
Yeah.
28 bites of rib. I'm sorry, 28 bites of rib. I'm good to swallow a whole bite of one of my ribs. They're usually that sweet. It's not that I don't like them. It's just that when you're cooking a comp, the last thing you want to do is try anything. I know we're all there, right? By the end of a comp, the last thing we want to do is that buddy who comes over, he's like, "Hey, try my chicken." And you're like, "I'll take a bite, but don't expect me to swallow it because there's nowhere for it to go right now unless you want it all over the floor." And you have to swallow a bite in rib cook off. So it definitely fills you up fast. Be hungry. Don't eat breakfast, then try to go judge rib comp.
Yeah, it's highly recommended. If you're a comp cook and you're questioning a lot, take a class and get your judging certification. Go judge a class.
Or yeah, absolutely.
A comp. I mean,
absolutely,
highly recommended.
Absolutely.
We had some of our pork steaks that I'm pretty sure they put some sort of steak sauce on. I don't even know what it was. It just had the world's most interesting flavor. And we had some good ones and we had some not so good ones.
Well, you said you've also had ones that tasted like pure dark smoke and lighter fluid.
There was some ribs down there that I'm pretty sure the Kingsford caught on fire. It was match start, and they ran out of King's Master or Casey Masterpiece. I'm pretty sure. I'm not knocking it by all means. I'm not knocking them. They showed up and tried, but I can't stress enough that make friends, and work together. We share a lot of data that you might not think of as data. Friday night before a comp, we'll stand around and talk, and usually there's a lot to be learned if you listen.
Yep.
If you honestly listen, shut up and listen. But don't stop asking questions unless somebody says, "Hey, I don't want to answer that." Don't be afraid to ask questions, because 99% of the time I haven't told you because you haven't asked. I mean, it's not that I'm hiding it. If I've never been asked to come cook with me in Masters, but if anybody's considering making the jump to Masters and they do want to cook a Masters, hit me up on Facebook. If I'm going to cook one, I don't mind if you come shoulder, shadow. Maybe I'll learn something from somebody else, but the next comp we're doing is in Derby on the 13th.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting one. Sounds like we got some muscle coming out to play. Hopefully Brad Linegar will stay at home though. I don't know if I want to play.
God, he's on there.
Isn't he though? Holy crap. What is he, 13 deep now or something?
Something stupid.
I haven't seen the updated number, but I know that he hasn't had
7, and he was just getting in stride when he hit his 7th.
He did 9 last time I heard. He had done 9 in a row, 9 weekend to weekend. I mean, just boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, the consistency. I talk about consistency all the time. I talk about it with my food truck.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency is key. So if you are feeling a little hungover when it comes to chicken, don't take that corner, even though you could cut it. And it, is it going to change anything? It's going to change something, whether you know it or not. And
Yep.
the bad part is you don't get to find out. The judge gets to find out. The biggest thing about consistency is keep it simple so that there's not too many steps and you forget. That's been the biggest thing for me is the simpler my recipes get back to, the better we do. The less error there is. The less changes can be made. Simple recipes work. I don't know why some of these guys are throwing, 14 injections and 7 different sauces and guys, that works, yeah, but somebody's not going to like it one day, and then you're going to be all confused because something didn't work.
Yeah.
And don't change things. That's another thing people want to do is they want to just sling different stuff out there every weekend and get to a recipe you like and cook it 3 or 4 times before you start changing it. Because my pork recipe is very similar to the one that I got from Kevin Weekend Bum about 3 or 4 years ago.
2021.
Yeah, it'd been right after his Royal.
Yeah.
I took that class at American Fire, and I used to cook with my mom, and we lost her last year, unfortunately. So, but she wrote these things down. And she's asking questions, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Well, I want to know how they get those chicken thighs into perfect little pillows," And I'm like, now I don't even cook thighs. So I cringe every time I think about having to cook thighs.
What do you cook?
That was
Legs?
I cook legs. So last year we started cooking legs after Alva at every comp, and one day, we were in Newton, and I took a bite of a thigh, and it was trash. And I was like, shit. And she looks at me and says, turn in the legs. And I'm like, I didn't cook those legs to turn them in. She's like, turn in the legs. I think we need to turn in the legs. So I throw the legs in the box. They weren't the prettiest box. And I was like, it is what it is. And I third placed at that contest behind Money and Travis Farthing. I joke with Travis all the time. As long as he's not there, I might have a chance. But speaking of people on a run, Chase Cog, Money Stove is just he's killing it right now too.
Yeah.
He did really good at invitationals. Great guy. He's somehow found himself in the Oklahomies, even though he lives on the wrong side of the border. So we claim Chase. Sorry, Kansas can't have him. But his name's been in the OKBS banquet every year for like 3 years now. So I guess he gets to be an OKBS member.
Honorary member.
Well, he wins in the points race, so I don't know if he's honorary or if he's a member at this point.
Member now, because you kick everybody else's butt.
Right?
That's great.
So do you go to a lot of barbecue restaurants? Or now that you make it so much, is it like off limits for you?
It's I'm gonna do it as you told me to. Market research is how we claim those trips. Recently we did do the Countryman Barbecue in Inola. And Joel cooks some really good food out there. I've gone to like Getting Basted, and of course Brad's restaurant knocks it out of the park.
I love that restaurant.
I gotta give Travis Clark this though. His deviled eggs. If you've never had the Clark Crew deviled eggs,
I haven't been to the restaurant yet.
You gotta go, man. His deviled eggs are killer. They're phenomenally good. Oddly enough, but his turkey is phenomenal too. So I'll give him that. His turkey's great. It's hard for me to get on board with a lot of brisket because I don't really want to order the most expensive thing on the menu.
Yeah.
If you can't cook ribs good or you can't cook pulled pork good, I don't really want to waste my money on your brisket.
That's my mentality.
I do that with turkey. If you can cook good turkey at a barbecue restaurant, then usually it's decent.
Right. No, absolutely. 110%. If you cook good turkey and it's moist and it's flavorful, then I know you cooked everything else great.
Yep. Yeah. Mine's ribs, though. It's because I just love ribs. If you can't cook a good rib, I'm not even going to try your brisket or burn ends or anything else. We're done.
Give me chicken or brisket any day over ribs.
Yeah. I'm not real big on ribs, and I think my biggest thing is membranes gross me out. The snap of a membrane on my teeth is like that's a big turnoff to me. If I know there's a membrane back there, or if I hear a membrane snap over my teeth, I'm like, nah, this rib's trash. Sorry, don't care. End of story.
That's me. If the restaurant doesn't take the time to pull that membrane, we're done.
Right. When I was running my restaurant and was doing ribs, I was injecting ribs, I was wrapping ribs, I was glazing ribs. We were doing basically comp ribs, and the only thing that was really different is we bumped down the injections a little bit so you didn't get those real heavy phosphates. And I've started using a lot of Blues Hog marinade stuff in my commercial cooking, and noticed that the phosphates aren't as heavy there. So you get that punch of flavor, but you don't get that roasty taste. It doesn't, I don't know what it does, but some injections give this chalky aftertaste. I don't know if you've ever had that, but
yes,
gives you a dry feeling on your tongue, and you're like, "Ooh, what was that?" So we're very mindful to that. Learning how to hold meat over a period, that's been real tricky.
Yeah. You have Cambros or anything, or just the hot?
On the truck, I have Hotbox, and it's digitally controlled. It sets like 145 all day long.
Nice.
It is like the perfect hold temperature all day long. It's a 2,000 watt oven, so it's spot on. Don't have to worry about it. I usually yank pork butts out, stuff my fist in them, make a pocket for butter, and then glaze the shit out of them, wrap them up, and either put them back on the old hickory CTO or put them in the hot box, depending on where they're at temp wise. And if my hand will smash them, I know they're ready to pull. But if you just break them a little bit, this kind of works for catering too. If you just break them a little bit, but you don't completely shred them, it holds that moisture in, so that as you're working through the day, you can just reach in and kind of mash up what you need as you need it, instead of tearing up a whole butt. And then by the time you're getting to the end, it kind of has that crispy feeling to it, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, honey.
That's actually really good advice.
Yeah. We're gonna work on a little bit of a different presentation this year at Derby for our pork. Take it a little old school and put some chunks in the box from various places.
A quick pause to thank our sponsors: King Louie Meat Apostle, Barbecue Rub, our charcoal of choice, The Good Charcoal Company, the best drums on the market, Hunsaker Drums, OG Bandits Barbecue and Catering, our instant read thermometers, Warhorse Trading Company, Rum Runners Barbecue out of Florida, Butcher Barbecue. Now back to Brad, Brian, and the bum.
You got anything else left for him, Brian?
The one thing you did leave out when you were saying go to a comp, make friends, you guys become family. You forgot the part of if they don't want to be your friend, then shig off of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure they drop their box.
Exactly.
I don't know how you do it, but you make somebody drop a box. It's kind of over for them. Like, pick that shit up, homie. No, anybody. I'm gonna say overall in the barbecue community, if you're gonna be a dick, I don't know if I can say that on here, but if you're gonna be one of those, then you should probably get ready for the retaliation of people.
Yeah.
We're a tight knit community. I don't have to be your best friend, but I do ask for respect.
Yeah.
And it's just common respect. Hey, clap for me. If I get an award, I'll clap for you.
100%.
Don't talk about teams. Don't talk about other teams or other people unless you're ready for them to talk about you or say something to you. I mean, it's just common courtesy stuff. It's not like there's no secret recipe to being good at barbecue or having good friends in barbecue. The biggest thing is just be kind to others, and they'll swoop you up and be kind to you. And the kinder you are and the more helpful you are, the quicker people will respect who you are and what you do. I'm not the best cook out there. I don't have 500 700s. I'm not the most winningest man in barbecue. I'm just a guy in a truck that loves to cook and enjoys the shit out of sitting in a parking lot with a bunch of bald guys, and eating good food. If we get to the good food part, sometimes it's the drinking the cold beers that's the most exhilarating part. Just the conversations we get to have. Yes.
Yeah, no.
At least till we get done.
Oh, look at that.
There
She
we
got
go.
light. We got light.
Yeah, she's gonna light me up. So let's not make it long on her.
But 2021, I mean, it's just like you're saying. I was walking by at the American Royal. Some guy's having issues on Saturday, and he's like, "I need some toothpicks. I need some toothpicks." And I'm just walking by hearing it, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, I know where there's some. I'll be right back." I went and grabbed him toothpicks, came back, didn't even know him. Saved him.
Yeah.
He got a call in the category, and he came looking for me. I was over by Bum's trailer, and he was just like, "Thanks, man." I'm like, "Dude, we're all there for the same reason, to see who can beat the judges. That's all it is."
Yeah, barbecue's not a game of luck. It's or I'm sorry, is a game of luck. It's
Yeah.
there's no guarantee to how you can do. The only thing you can do is wow people every time you cook, which is what I feel Brad's figured out. Is he's figured out how to put that punch you in the nose. Holy crap, that's amazing. With is that even real? That's what I consider is that even real? And when you take a bite, it's like, holy crap, am I awake? Am I alive? Like, was that heaven that just hit me? That's what these, it's a combination. And I've heard people say things like, you don't build good enough boxes to GC, or you don't build good enough boxes for this or that. Build a box. If you don't think it looks good, or if you're not even sure if it's the right kind of box, ask. Somebody will sit down and show you a box.
Yep.
I mean, I've helped people build boxes. I've given people kale that had no idea what kale was, and they're like, well, I got lettuce. And I'm like, yeah, you don't want to use that. I'll save you the disappointment now. It has a funky smell in a box. Just in case you aren't aware of that. I found that out my very first comp, which is also why I have no trophies from that comp. But that's not true. I think I have a 9th place pork somewhere from that one. But ask. I mean, if you want to learn how to build a box, ask somebody. If you want to learn how to trim a pork butt, ask.
Yeah.
I will literally, I've given guys the recipe and then the ingredients to go cook my brisket right next to me. And the reason I do that is because I'm not here to win. That's not what I'm here for. I love winning. Don't get me wrong. Winning is what we're all here for. But above and beyond that, the camaraderie with friends and helping people get better at what they love to do or think they love to do. It's the barbecue community is an infectious disease. You start with just I'm going to cook 1 or 2 comps, and then you try to do 8 in a year, which is basically the whole summer gone every weekend cooking.
Yep.
And I had somebody ask me recently that is fairly new to the scene. He said, man, how do you guys afford to go to Masters comps and do these Masters comps? I said, what do you mean afford? And he's like, well, I mean, a brisket's like $300. And I said, okay. He said, then you got to buy chicken and ribs. I said, yeah, you're $1,000 before you leave the driveway. And he's like, well, how do people afford that? And I was like, well, I'm not sure if it's really poor financial planning for the future or if it's just, a little bit of an addiction, but I'm getting ate alive by mosquitoes. Yeah, it's an amazing sport with great friends and family. So it keeps dragging me back in. I told her I wasn't cooking any comps this year. And we're going to Derby, and we're considering another one maybe. But I haven't fully committed. It's like 2 weekends after a big rock concert in Oklahoma. And if I get into that, it's like 3,000 to 5,000 meals a day.
Oh yeah.
It's if you guys are familiar with Rocklahoma.
Yep. I was just going to mention that.
It's probably the biggest rock event in the Midwest in the summer and the spring and September.
Yeah.
And I think their numbers like 50 or 60,000 people every year.
Jeez.
So, if you just take 1% of that, right? 1%, not 10%, just 1%. That's 1,000 people a day. The amount of meat it's going to take is going to be astronomical.
Yeah.
I actually kind of been working on starting a YouTube channel, kind of like a day in the life thing.
Mm-hmm.
Still working on trying to figure out how to edit that and make it comfortable to watch. The hardest thing for me is hearing myself on TV. Whenever I have to watch myself, it's cringy. I'm like, I can't do this. So I have to back off and try it a couple times. But working on that. Going to start dropping those links on our Facebook page. We're working on rebuilding an old hickory I bought, a CTO double wide. It was in a fire and I was told that I was an idiot for buying it. But here we are. It's in the shop. It's pretty close to getting a fire up tomorrow. So I'm going to get some video of that when we get it started going on the truck and start cooking in it.
Nice.
You know, again, those CTO double wides and single wides are just, they're amazing cookers. As bad as I hate to admit that propane cooks good food, they really take it to the next level in flavor that you wouldn't believe. I'm actually going to cook on it at Derby for my small meats. So it'll be on the trailer for Derby. We'll see how I do cooking on charcoal on it. So
nice.
Yeah. Which both of you are probably familiar with. CTOs used to be very common.
Yeah.
In the comp world. I think that's before they were $9,000. That probably slowed people down a lot. They are very common at Memphis in May. And good old comp switch on a CTO, and you're like Myron Mixon or something, you know. Now who's sweet swan on mine? Mark Lambert.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the CTO Old Hickory guy. He's pushing those things like crazy. So
I'll be darned.
Yep.
Well, we better let you get inside. You're just
it's starting to get uncomfortable.
There,
so.
like...
Yeah, no, I'm getting ate up from behind it. I live too close to the river is the biggest problem. I live a quarter mile from the river, so at night I get ate up. So
that's about my bedtime anyway.
Yeah, I agree, boys. I appreciate it. Thank you for having us on.
We appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much.
Yep.
And share a link to our page if you don't mind, and let's watch the humanity fade away as I launch my YouTube channel and see how that does.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll reach out to you, get some stuff fabricated for me.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.